Hello everyone, good day! Welcome to our online class in Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. I'm your teacher, Mrs. Lovely Jimenez. Our lesson for today is the human person is an embodied spirit. The most essential learning competencies is recognize how the human body imposes limits and possibilities for transcendence. For the specific objectives, recognize their own limitations and possibilities. Evaluate their own limitations and possibilities for transcendence. Recognize how the human body improves limits and possibilities for transcendence, and distinguish the limitation and possibilities for transcendence. Now, I want you to analyze the following picture and the following question. Then check if you have ever found yourself asking or wondering the same things. Have you ever wondered about what is beyond our world or universe? Have you ever wanted to become better at something or to learn something new? Do you see yourself becoming a better person over time? Have you ever imagined a life that is better than what you are living now? Our mind is an important tool that allows us to go beyond many of our physical limits. As persons, we are able to exercise our imagination and reflection to go beyond our own thoughts and experiences. Now, let us find out what is human person as embodied spirit. As an embodied spirit, human beings demonstrate these following qualities according to Abelia 2016. The first one is self-awareness. It refers to person having a clear perception of oneself, including his or her thoughts, emotions, identity, and action. It is the ability of one's consciousness to look inward, thus discovering the presence of a self. The self enables a person to experience an inner world of dreams, thoughts, imagination, fantasy. Thus, the self represents man's interiority or loob in Filipino. Number 2. A human person is able to connect and interact with another person, an animal, or an inanimate object. We call this externality. So even though human beings have interiority, they are not trapped inside their heads. They are able to go beyond their limited selves and embrace others. Number 3, we are not determined by others. Because we have interiority, we can direct the course of our own life. This is what we call self-determination, which is the capability of person to make choices and decisions based on their own preferences, monitor and regulate their actions, and be goal-oriented and self-directed. Thus, human beings are free. However, since our actions are based on our decisions, we have to realize that every decision has a consequences. The result of our freedom is morality, which is the goodness or badness of an act, according to Abelia 2016. Last but not the least, number 4, finally, a human person has an inherent value and importance. This is what we call dignity. That is why no amount of money can equal the value of a human life. This is also the reason why individual rights are absolute. Are you familiar with Saint Thomas Aquinas? A philosopher and one of the greatest theologians in the Catholic Church in the 13th century, said that of all creatures, human beings have the unique power to change themselves and things for the better, according to Ramos 2016. We have encountered persons who complain of any given situations or accept the reality or status in life as God-given thing. We heard a man sighing on TV during the early stage of COVID-19. Mahirap maging mahirap. Though it is true that poverty is not just personal, but also structural as an individual person, you know that you can do something to change the situation. This is what we call transcendence. This is the power that your ability to surpass your limit. You're able to transcend your limit through your physical and mental abilities. Did you know that religion and philosophy teaches human beings to overcome our limits? In technological parlance, humans cannot upgrade themselves. Are you familiar with Buddha? Buddha realized that all people suffers. Maybe, in your case, you just accept your own suffering as part of life, but not for Buddha. This reality ignited his curiosity to examine and understand the word suffering. He left his real life in the palace and spent his life for 6 years in the wilderness to find answer for his question. And when he sat under the tree of enlightenment for 40 days, Beulah, he finds the answers, the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths. So, what are these four or eightfold paths? Let us going to study one by one. First one is right view, a correct understanding of the nature of things, specifically the Four Noble Truths. What are the Four Noble Truths? The Four Noble Truths are the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path leading to the end of suffering. Number 2. Right intention, eliminating thoughts of attachment, detestation, and harmful intent. Right intention means that you must follow the Dharma for the right reasons to free yourself out of love and compassion for all beings. Number 3. Right speech, abstaining from verbal offenses such as lying, divisive speech, unforgiving speech, and irrational speech. You should strive to use language meaningfully and usefully. Learn to maintain noble silence. Number 4. Right action, refraining from physical offenses such as murdering, thieving, and sexual misbehavior. Number 5. Right livelihood, evading trades that directly or indirectly damage others such as trading slaves, weapons, animals for butchery, intoxicants, or poisons. According to Buddha, work should be benefits to all and not to harm others. Number 6. Right effort, forsaking undesirable states of mind that have already arisen, preventing undesirable states that have yet to arise, and sustaining positive states that have already arisen. 7. Right concentration, single-mindedness. The best example is from Buddha. Right concentration means to practice proper meditation. Right concentration on words to concentrate on striving for success. 8. Right mindfulness, consciousness of body, feelings, thought, and phenomena. Right mindfulness means that you must be really aware of the world around you all the time. Do not be distracted. Concentrate on the way things are. Live in the moment. If you notice, this is a universal principle being taught not just by Buddhism. Do you agree with me? These are the values what human person needs to succeed or transcend. These are examples of the power mentioned by Saint Thomas to change ourselves. If you can do the Eightfold Path even if you are not a Buddhist, you can transform yourselves from your present situation and transcend to what you desire you would be. Just believe in yourselves. As the starstruck of GMA 7 adheres, dream, believe, and survive. Did you enjoy our lesson? It seems that you had fun knowing and exploring new or familiar ideas on today's lesson, right? I know that knowing ourselves requires enough time. As they said, it takes a village to raise a child, just like knowing yourself. For you to enjoy more of discovering new ideas, let us continue exploring the world of surprises. Are you ready? Let's go! For our activity, entitled I Recognize Myself, I want you to kindly fill up all the information needed to complete the table. I know you can do it. You have the time to remember your past experiences and chance to look forward on the future. Don't worry, nobody will judge you. I am with you and at the back to give my full support. So please, fill up the table. Your strength, your abilities, and talents. Your weaknesses, your fears and hesitations, and your desires, what you want to do more. For the next activity, entitled I Know What to Do, Kindly answer and complete the sentence being asked to you. First, I have known that. Second, I realized that. On this part, you are expected to showcase your ability from what you have learned from our journey. Are you excited? Let's go! Entitled Myself, My Family, and My Community. You're going to answer the real-life questions provided to you. No wrong answer, just give your best. Number 1. As a student, how can you conquer the challenges posed by this pandemic? Number 2. How did the present crisis make you realize the reality of human limitations, uncertainties, and possibilities? Class, so in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. Matthew 7 verse 12. If you want to become fortunate, choose to do good deeds. Thank you. God bless us all.